celebrando el trabajo y el liderazgo de la mujer latina de hoy. Hoy tenemos a Lourdes Barroso de Padilla, una vez más acá para compartir su liderazgo y celebrar su trabajo aquí en Colombia. Bienvenida, Lourdes.
Gracias.
Lourdes, estamos celebrando tu liderazgo. Cuéntanos, ¿cómo llegó Lourdes aquí, a Columbus?
Well, my parents are first generation American. They were born and raised in Cuba. They came in 1970 with my two sisters. And my mom actually came to Columbus because she knew someone from her town that lived here. And so when others were staying in Miami or going to New Jersey, my parents decided to come to Columbus. And it was interesting because the reason that they stayed, I think it's twofold, but the original reason that they stayed was they didn't understand how a lease worked. So that just goes to show you how fate plays a part in your life. So they were tied into a lease. My sisters had gone through a lot of change coming from Cuba to Columbus, Ohio, where at that time they were not. When you found another Latino, you better get their phone number and, you know, exchange information because you may not see another one again for a while. And 6 years later, I was born. And we've been here ever since. And this is where our parents made life for us.
You're here in Columbus. We know your work, but for the people that don't know you, who is Lourdes Barroso de Padilla?
Lourdes Barroso de Padilla is a mother. I have two little girls, Eva and Latina.
Liderazgo, leadership. ¿Cómo lograste tú ser líder ahora? ¿Y qué es tu liderazgo que tú viste cuando empezaste aquí, cuando eras pequeña? ¿Cómo el liderazgo de la mujer latina ha crecido, ha evolucionado?
That's a good question. You know, I think my first peek at leadership and Latina leadership was definitely my mother. My mom came to this country knowing very little English. She worked in a hair salon as a shampoo girl. She learned English by watching soap operas, so I always joke around that that's what makes her so dramatic. And my mom, she was involved in the PTA. She did every bake sale, you know, school field trip that she could be a part of. Her and my father and their friends started an organization here for Latinos. And it was really, the premise was a social club, but the idea was to it was a meeting place for Latinos. She led in our church. You know, she took care of her grandchildren. I mean, my mother, and she's really a servant leader, you know, and no matter whatever happens, you know, she left her entire family behind and sacrificed everything for me and my sisters. My parents really came here so that we could really know freedom, and their children could know freedom. It wasn't just about having a better life. It was free to think and be whoever you wanted to be. You know, and for them, that was always what was important. Education was always important. They were not, you know, what people might think of stereotypical. And I think also for their era, you know, my parents are a little bit older, they always pushed me and my sisters to be leaders. They always pushed us to be out in front, to be the best that we could be, to follow our dreams, no matter what that was. You know, but to always be the best at whatever it was that we did.
So today, your leadership is how you will define. How do you define your leadership?
How do I define my leadership? Oh God, that's a big question. I think that I am moved by justice and by doing what I believe is right. And my measure of that, I think, is twofold. I think, first of all, it's being true to myself and being true to my ideals and what I think the people around me would be proud of me doing. You know, I think about my parents, I think about my daughters, I think about my nephews and nieces. In my work, I'm passionate about education, I'm passionate about leveling the playing field. And what I think about is the kids that we serve every day through the organization that I work with, would they be proud of the decision that I'm making? You know, is this something that is going to move them forward? That for me is the measure of what is justice and what is right. And am I doing the right decision? Am I making the right decision for the right people? And is it for the people or is it for me? Because every one of us have that, right? When you're thinking about something and you're thinking, you know, is this the right thing for me or is this the right thing for people, right? And so it's being moved, that's your measure. You know, looking at the people who care about you and saying, would I make you proud today?